Welcome back to the Suburban Chateau. I'm Stephanie Everett, and this week I'm excited to share with you all things fall antiques. And I had the great fortune this weekend to go to both sides of the state. And we started out in the eastern part of the state, and I was in the Harrisburg, Mechanicsburg area, and went to the Lemoyne Antique Marketplace with my daughters, and we had a great time, got some great finds there, which I'll share. And then on the next day, Sunday, went to Bedford, PA, on the western side of the state, and we went to the Bedford Fall Foliage Fest, but saw tons of antiques in addition to a lot of crafts as well. So this week, East meets West, all things fall antiques, and I'll share with you a little haul at the end. Well, there's no doubt in my mind that the Antique Marketplace of Lemoyne is probably my favorite antique spot in the Harrisburg area. And the girls and I usually visit it at least once, sometimes twice a year, and we see many favorites when we go there. Always evolving. This is just a new space that we're looking at here that opened up in the Antique Mall. I get a lot of my inspiration for how I'm going to put things into my booth by seeing the vendors here, and a lot of creative things. I thought that display with the purses and the antique bottles was really unique. But so some of this is just getting ideas, and sometimes we find treasures. We always find treasures at the Antique Mall of Lemoyne, but we really had a great day. Today we saw quite a few Cubist pieces and several of the Cubist candy dishes. That one I had never seen in almost a carnival glass look. We saw some great suitcases, luggage. I thought that was so great in the plaid. It looks like it's from the 70s. I always see this Pyrex vendor, really incredible array of different Pyrex options. But certainly at the Antique Marketplace, there are all kinds of treasures. And every time we're there, it totally changes. It's almost exhausting to get to see that whole space. But we always look for our favorite things. There's some Longaberger, there's some Fostoria, some Depression glass, lots of goodies. Well, after seeing Lemoyne Antique Marketplace, the next day we traveled to Bedford, saw the last rose of summer there. And Bedford, Pennsylvania, historic town in the western side of the state, and got to see some beautiful grand homes. Lots of these are bed and breakfasts throughout the town. The one incredible thing about Bedford is the Bedford Springs Hotel, and it brings a lot of tourists in every year. And we were excited to see the Bedford Fall Foliage Festival, which happens 2 weekends in October. And we always like to go and check out all the craft goodness and, of course, the antiques stores there. But just got to see some of those incredible buildings on our walk into the craft festival. Well, almost as soon as we got to the craft fair, we stopped in our favorite antique store in downtown Bedford, and that is the Founders Crossing. I highly recommend it. The basement is stock full of antiques. Here's a really good example. I loved how they put the autumnal glassware together, some turquoise, some orange, all those great colors together, just celebrating the season of harvest. And we love to go to the Founders Crossing. We find all kinds of glassware there, crocheted items. I find a lot of vintage clothing there as well, and lots of items that I really enjoy. I got a couple of pieces there while we were visiting the fall foliage this year. Well, we next set out just a little bit beyond Bedford, Pennsylvania itself, and went down the Cumberland Road to the incredible Finley Bee, one of our favorite barn sales. They open up once per month And during the Bedford Fall Foliage, they open up for both weekends, which is always exciting. I found quite a few longer burger baskets on this trip, and some that I'm going to transform. And you know that I paint the lids of those. So it's exciting to see, and especially things set up for Christmas. Now, one of the things that I did manage to bring home was this incredible antique mirror. I just love it. I have not put it up yet. When I get that done, I'll make sure I share it with you as well. But lots of items for the holidays, lots of just a unique variety. And of course, my favorite are the baskets. I found a new vendor this time when we went to the Finley Bee, and she makes a lot of bespoke hats. And so one of the things that I was pleased to do while I was at the Finley Bee is she showed me how to put together a hat. So here's a picture of the hat that I was working on, and just using glue gun and some feathers and some velvet and that incredible vintage pin, I put a hat together. So that was a lot of fun as well. Well, it was on to our final destination for the day, the 13 Pines Antique Mall. And this is a lovely antique store. Again, a little bit outside of Bedford, Pennsylvania, but so finely curated. And we love to go in there and see what's new and see how things have been displayed. Again, I get great ideas just looking at the amazing displays that are in the 13 Pines. And you'll see a little later in my haul, I got something that was sitting on that table. And but we love this vendor. This is a group that they used to have their own store, and we used to go there all the time. So I always like to see what they have coming up, especially for the holidays. But so many unique items. 13 Pines has a lot more primitive items, I would say, but certainly an array of different items as well. As promised, I'll share with you a few of the treasures I brought home from the east and from the west side of the state. And starting off with this incredible crocheted jacket. I found this at Lemoyne Antiques, and I love anything granny squared. If you've been watching my channel, that's one of my downfalls, you'll know. But I found this, it's probably a little bit smaller size than I like to wear, but it has bell sleeves. And it's just an open front jacket, so it doesn't need to close, but I just thought it was gorgeous. And where are you going to find fall colors? Just absolutely beautiful. Perfect for like a day like today. It's kind of chilly, but it's sunny. Just to have something to throw over your shoulders to keep you a little bit warmer in the fall weather. So this is gorgeous. I think it was $25, so very reasonable. And that was on the eastern side of the state. So the comparable one on the west was at the Bedford Fall Foliage Fest. I have a vendor that I really enjoy there, and she makes a lot of shawls and wraps. I absolutely love this one. Again, great fall colors. And I thought, I could do it as a shawl. I'm thinking use a vintage pin, maybe, or like a side shawl, something like that. But the colors are awesome. Teal, burgundy, kind of pumpkin, dark brown, and black. So I think they look good with what I'm wearing right now. So this is awesome. Looking forward to, again, I tend to stay hot, but this little shawl, over my shoulders with a dress or something, just to keep you a little bit warm when you're out there running around. So first East meets West, we have crocheted. Okay, the second category for East meets West is sparkly. So I am looking for some jewelry for an upcoming trip, and I may do a pack along with me video to kind of get you guys ready. We're going to Dollywood. So if you go to Dollywood, you got to have a little sparkly. I mean, Dolly she inspires us, right? So wonderful first thing I found on the eastern side of the state, a choker necklace. Now, I'm not always a choker necklace person because I just tend to get hot. But I think this will be lovely. It has a little extension. And what I'm going to be wearing with it are some sleeveless shirts. So I thought it would be sort of nice right around the neckline area. I love it. It's got pearls. It's got rhinestones. I bought a sweater that my daughter said matches this perfectly. So this will be for my Dollywood trip, $12. I think that's a pretty good deal. All right, sparkly on the western side of the state. I found this was at the Founders Crossing, one of my favorite antique stores in Bedford. Beautiful, long. I do a little bit better on the long necklaces. Long crystals, some silver, some pearls, a little bit of everything. $99. So I would say comparable prices for sparkly East meets West. Okay, so next is going to be gems. Now, again, I do love long necklaces. So we're going to start out. All of these I got on the western side of the state. I didn't find any gems on the eastern side of the state, but we'll start off glass beads. Again, I believe these were $10 or maybe a little bit more than that. Found these at Founders Crossing in Bedford, Pennsylvania. But that'll look cool with white or blue or even maybe against black as well. This is something I wear every day. Like if I wear a black tank shirt just to dress it up, I might put on a gem necklace. At the craft show at the Fall Foliage, I found this awesome gem. And it also has a rare coin with it. Just really interesting, $20. I thought that was reasonable, but it's long and that's what I like. And it had those fall colors. So cool gems, purples, ambers, greens, browns. That should go for all fall. So I really like that as well. And finally, in the gem category, I found one of my favorite vendors at the craft show had a really long, beautiful, it's kind of hard to see how nice this is, but it's got some jade and some other gems on it. She made my absolute favorite necklace, which is kind of a pink quartz, and I wear it all the time. And I'm just like this, literally every day, walk out, dresses up the outfit, black tank, black shorts, something simple, but it just elevates it a little bit. And I don't know, it stays out of my way because it's long. Okay, and final category for East meets West is glassware. And I think I did the best in this category, possibly. After we went to the Lemoyne Antique Marketplace, my daughter Grace suggested a local Goodwill that wasn't too far from there. And the Goodwills around here are great. They're just beautifully put together, open, lots of space, very well categorized. I was really impressed. So while the girls were looking for clothes, I went to the glassware section, and I cannot believe how well I made out. I found two dishes. They had to be from the same collection. One of them is this peony gold embellished with the yellow, marked Limoges, of course. On the back, you can see it. And I found this one second. The first one I found, they just have to be from the same, is a little bit bigger, similar pattern, again, marked Limoges. I'll try to do a close-up of that so you can see that. But gorgeous. So I'm gonna maybe try to do something with this, a stacking tray with the two of these things. If I can find some other pieces in my collection to make them into something, I'm gonna go for it. And then I found, so this was East, okay, in the glassware china. And finally, I've always wanted this. Okay, and it still has the tag marked on it, $8. It's a little cobalt glass violin. If you know me, that's my instrument. And I'm gonna be doing some new things in the kitchen coming up here, and I wanna use it in my decor in the kitchen. So you're gonna see a kitchen redo coming up in the next couple months. And this is definitely going to be in the mix. So I think it did pretty well. So that's it for this episode of the Suburban Chateau. I hope you enjoyed seeing some antiques on the east and the west side of the state. And upcoming videos to look forward to in a couple of weeks. I will be going to Leckett's Fall Market. Really looking forward to that, taking you along with me. So lots of exciting things still to come yet this fall.